Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with a new chapter, chapter 2 of Economics, People as Resource. Now, first of all, what is the need to study this chapter in economics? Because we study even population in geography also. What is the basic difference between these two? When we talk about geography, when we are studying chapter population, we mainly say that India is having such a large population due to which a large number of resources are needed for the satisfaction of this population. Now, because there is a large population, we also say that the resources are scarce in the country. But when we are doing this same population or people in economics, we are calling the people as resource. So in this chapter, we are going to do that how people are important as a resource, or what makes the people to become a resource. So this chapter, People as Resource, is an effort to explain population as an asset for the economy rather than a liability. Now, what is the meaning of an asset? Asset means valuable, something which is valuable, and liability means which is not valuable, which is a kind of a burden or not valuable. So, in this chapter, we are going to prove or study that population is an asset, is of advantage rather than a burden. Generally, when we talk about large population, we say because there is large population, that is why India is a developing country. But why can't we use this population as an asset? Why can't we make this population useful? Every person useful for the nation, for the economy. That is the chapter all about. So, how can a population become an asset? And I told you what is the meaning of asset. Asset means something which is valuable. So, how can the population become an asset? Population becomes human capital when there is investment made in the form of education, training, and medical care. A person without any education, without any kind of training, without uh, the person is not healthy also. That person cannot become a human capital. So, human capital is the stock of skill and productive knowledge. Without the knowledge, without the skills, a person cannot become human capital. So, what is the meaning of people as a resource? It is a way of referring to a country's working people in terms of their existing productive skills and abilities. That means those working people who are productive, that means who are earning, those who have skills, those who have abilities, those who are valuable for the nation, those who are contributing something for the nation or for the society, those people are called as the resource. When we talk about, there are so many resources which are needed in a country for the development. In the last chapter, that is in the first chapter, that is in the Palampur chapter, you have studied that during the production process there are so many inputs which are required. We need land, we need capital, we need labor, and we need enterprise. Most important out of them all is human resource. If we have everything with us, we have land also, we have capital also, we have labor also, but we do not have a brain behind these things which can put all of them together to produce the output, and that is the human resource. And for many years in India also, there was no investment made on the human resource. For example, when we got independence, the government has invested crores of rupees in building up of the infrastructure, in building up of the only the big, what do you call it, as factories or industries. But what is the use? Unless until there is a human resource which will put all these things together. I'll give you the example. You are having a laptop or a computer at home, but you don't know how to work upon it. You do not have the skills to use that particular product. What is the use of that then? So, skills and health are the most important thing to build the human resource. And this human resource is developed by becoming more educated and healthy. And then we call it as a human capital formation. So an example is given that investment in human capital through education, training, medical care, through these, investment has to be done upon them. Do you know what is the meaning of investment? When you have to start any kind of a business, you have to put some money from your pocket initially in the beginning. That money is called as the investment. In the same way, parents invest money upon a child through education, medical care, etc. And when that investment is done in the childhood, once the child grows up, the child will give a return. That means the child will start earning. It's just like when a seed is sown. So the day you sow the seed, you will not get the fruit. So you have to sow the seed. So it's just like an investment. Then you are putting watering to the seed. Then you are using fertilizers or manures or pesticides. Then it grows up after a few years and then it gives the fruit. So putting the seed, using fertilizers, pesticides, all this is the investment. So it is same as in the human capital resource also. You might have seen the difference between a child who is not educated, who is not healthy, and a child who is educated and healthy. So, a child who is educated and healthy, when the child grows up, will earn more better than the other child. So, that is what I meant by investment. Investment in human capital. So, investment in human capital is just like through education, training, medical care. These things yields. Yields means gives a return, produces, yields a return, just like investment in physical capital. Now, what is physical capital? If today, suppose I buy a small piece of a land, and suppose the worth of that land is maybe just 50,000 rupees, what will happen? That is my investment today. What will happen after 10 years or 20 years? The worth of the land will increase. So I will get a profit. So that is same as investment. So it is compared that just like we buy a property and keep it with us so that we can get a return in the future, same way to build a human capital, we invest the money. And where do we invest the money? In that person's education, training, and the healthcare. So by giving a proper education, the person is able to earn better, and even a person who is healthier is able to earn more than the person who is not educated. We can see here also a box which you can see here on the right hand side, blue box. India's Green Revolution is a dramatic example of how the input of greater knowledge in the form of improved production technologies can rapidly increase the productivity of scarce land resource. When the Green Revolution was introduced, before that, there was very less yield in the country or very less production in the country. But once the Green Revolution was introduced and the farmers started using it, there was higher amount of production. One more example is given. India's IT revolution, information technology, is a striking instance of how the importance of human capital has come to acquire a higher position than that of material, plant, and machinery. We have seen those people who are today working in the IT sector, they earn more than a person who is working in an industry or maybe a person who is working in the fields. What is IT? It is all about skills, human brain, human skills. So that's the example again. There is a small conversation between the two children. You can just see that. What is human resource? Is it like a land or a labor? The boy is answering, it's more than that. What is human capital? Is it like rupee, paise, or dollar? The boy is answering, it is more than that. When we talk about money, money can be earned if a person has skills. But if person doesn't have skills, definitely the person cannot earn a good income also. This part is very well explained in your book through a story, a proper story given over there, which we will do now. Now the story is of, you can see before the story, few pictures over here of different activities you can see. A doctor, a teacher, you can see a person working, a person is working on a machine, that is sewing machine, that is a tailor. So you can see different people working over there. So people do work as per their capability, their skills. And if a person is educated and healthy, that person not only gains for himself or herself, but also is an asset for the society. For example, if an educated person is there, he will definitely spread the knowledge among the people of the society also. In the same way, a healthy person will try to always give tips on the good health to the other people also. So that is how we are building the human capital. So human capital is one way superior to other resources like land and physical capital. Human resource can make use of land and capital, and land and capital cannot become useful on its own. No resource can become useful on its own. No resource can become useful on its own. So it is the human resource which uses all other resources, land, capital, etc., and then make them useful and take the output. So now we come to the story of Sakal. There are two stories which we will do. One is story of Sakal and the other is story of Vilas. Story of Sakal. There were two friends, Vilas and Sakal, living in the same village. Sakal was a 12-year-old boy. His mother Sheila looked after domestic chores. His father Bhuta Chaudhary worked in an agricultural field. Sakal helped his mother in domestic chores. He also looked after his younger brother Jitu and sister Situ. His uncle Sham had passed the matriculation examination but was sitting idle in the house as he had no job. Bhuta and Sheila were eager to teach Sakal. They forced him to join the village school, which he soon joined. He started studying, completed his higher secondary examination. His father persuaded him to continue his studies. He raised a loan for Sakal to study a vocational course in computers. Sakal was meritorious and interested in studies from the beginning. With great vigor and enthusiasm, he completed his course. After some time, he got a job in a private firm. He even designed a new kind of software. This software helped him increase the sale of the firm. His boss acknowledged his services and rewarded him with a promotion. Children, in this story, Sakal got education. He is skillful because he learned computers, and with his skills, with his knowledge, he was able to give a designing of a software for his company. So the company was happy with his work and he was given a reward of a promotion also. So what do we call Sakal as? Will you call Sakal as an asset or will you call Sakal as an liable? Let's see the next story also in the next page. Story of Vilas. Vilas was an 11-year-old boy residing in the same village as Sakal. Vilas's father Mahesh was a fisherman. His father passed away when he was only 2 years old. His mother Geeta sold fish to earn money to feed the family. She bought fish from the landowner's pond and sold it in the nearby mandi. She could earn only rupees 150 a day by selling fish. Vilas became a patient of arthritis. His mother could not afford to take him to the doctor. He could not go to school either. He was not interested in studies. He helped his mother in cooking and also looked after his younger brother Mohan. After some time, his mother fell sick and there was no one to look after her. There was no one in the family to support them. Vilas too was forced to sell fish in the same village. He liked he just like his mother earned only a meager income. Meager means a very less income. Now what is the difference between the two stories, children? Do you notice any difference between the two friends? What are those? When we talk about Sakal, he got educated. He could get the skills. He used those skills and education to earn a good income, and he became an asset for the country, for the society, for the family. But in case of Vilas, because of his circumstances, he also could earn only just like mother, which is the very low income even for the sustenance of his life and his family's life. Not only that, he was suffering from disease called as arthritis. So what we call Vilas as? So Vilas is a liability. He is not useful for the society, neither for the country. He is not contributing anything for the country, nor for the society, because he is not educated. So we call Vilas is not a resource and Sakal is a human capital. Vilas is not a human capital. That is the two major difference between these two stories. So we have here all these references just below the activity. You can see in the two cases studies we saw Sakal went to school. Vilas did not go to school. Sakal was physically strong and healthy. There was no need for him to visit the doctor. But Vilas was a patient of arthritis. He lacked the means to visit. Even he could not go to the doctor because he didn't have the money. Sakal acquired a degree in computer programming. Sakal found a job in private firm while Vilas continued with the same work as his mother. He learned a meager income like his mother to support a family. So in case of Sakal, it is the investment, several years of education added to the quality of labor. So this enhanced his total productivity, and the total productivity adds to the national income also. Thus, or this in turn pays an individual through salary or in some other form of his choice. But in case of Vilas, there could not be any education nor good health care for him. So he spends his life selling only fish like his mother. So he draws the same salary like his mother, just like an unskilled labor. So that is the difference between a skilled labor and an unskilled labor. You might have seen unskilled labor who works at the construction sites, etc., or domestic helpers at your home. They earn very less income than your parents who are skillful, who are educated. So investment in human resource through education and medical care gives a high rates of return in future. So if you get proper educated, if you get proper skillful, if you are healthy, if you eat today a healthy food, then definitely you will grow into a healthy human capital who will give a better return to the family, to the society, to the also to the country. So that's about your investment. We have a very good example here, children. In the same page, if you see, there is an example which I'll show you just with this pencil tool, which you can see, which you can use as the example to prove that how the human beings can be an asset. Example like, children, Japan here, if you can see. We all know that Japan is one of the developed Asian country at present. And we also know that during the Second World War, Japan, two major cities of Japan were completely smashed off by America by dropping the nuclear bombs upon them, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. At that time, Japan's economy was almost zero. But do you know now, when in 1947, Japan and India, their economies, if we just imagine that their economies were zero, at same par or zero. Now today, Japan is much ahead of us. What is the reason for this, that it is much ahead of us? It is because at that time only, just after that, the Second World War was over, Japan was thinking that how we can develop our country again, how can we become developed again fast. And then they thought that it is through the human resource we can become a developed country. These countries like Japan is so developed and rich at present than India. India with so many natural resources is also not so developed. But Japan has very less natural resources. They rather import the natural resources. They buy the natural resources from the other countries. But how they have become developed? They don't have any natural resources. India has so much of natural resources. Still ours is developing and Japan is developed. Why is this major difference between these two countries? It is because answer is given here, that they have invested on people, especially in the field of education and health. So initially itself, they have invested upon education and health, not like India. India has invested upon building up of the industries and factories. But there was no human resource in India. That is why we have remained as developing. But now, yes, India now it has realized, and now India is also investing upon human capital. That is why we have so many schemes for the free education, even the midday meals for the students in many schools, to develop the health of the children, because now India realized that it is the, if we invest in the human capital, if we invest in the education and health of the children, then definitely our country also can become developed soon. But this was realized by Japan much earlier, so they are now a developed country. So that's the example which you can use when you are giving the answer, that whether it is important to invest money on the human development or not, or how human development or how human capital is more important capital than the other resources. That's how you can explain them. So for today, children, that's all. We completed one part of the chapter, that is investment in the human resource, or human capital is the most important capital than any other capital or any other resource, through the two stories. So you go through this much part, read the stories, you will understand the concept which we have done, because in the next video I'll start with the next part of the chapter, that is economic activities by men and women. So that's all, children. Have a good day.